So I've selected a camp for tonight. Some of you guys may recognize this space. I'm gonna set up my tarp right in here, right behind me. Bella's here. Hi Bella, say hi. There's Bella. You're both in black today. She is in black every day though. Yeah, so we'll get this set up and do a little video and an overnighter here. Okay, so truth be told, I am thankfully not parked very far from where I'm camping. I left my ridgeline set up on a kind of a test run of this shelter that I did. So I'm gonna just make a new ridgeline. I've got some extra paracord. I always have it in my truck, so I'm gonna do that. So I want to go higher on the tree for my ridgeline attachment point, because the way that this George tent was set up, one of the configurations that talk about is hanging it from a tree, and so I've kind of modified the way that I do this, and I can do it from a ridge line. I've also done it with bipods. Not sure which video I'll post first. Depends if I can work out the new video codec. So got my 10x10 bushcraft Spain tarp. I'm going with 10x10 instead of the 8x8 because I've got my dog with me and she takes up space. So the first thing I got to do is I got to lay out my tarp in approximately the area that I want to be laying in. Right about there is pretty good. And then let's see. So the first thing I do is I'm going to bring, if this is my center line, look right there. Then I bring the corner over to the center. And then I do that with my other corner. And I stretch it out. Hold it under into the center. And then I can take one of my stakes and stake those two together in the middle. I'll need 3 stakes at the very beginning. And I brought a hickory mallet that I made at Bushcraft 101 recently-ish. So I'm going to take and stake these two together. I'm going to drive stake in. It's kind of temporary because this is where your doors are. So the next one that we have, so that's going to be our height of our shelter at this point. The next thing we do is one tarp tie out from there, and in a 90-degree fashion we pull that tight against that center stake, keeping it flat on this side, and then we tie that up. And then we do the same thing over here. We go one tie out down the side, and we go 90 degrees out. We just basically keep in a straight line right across here. And we put our final stake in, well, not our final stake, but in the front part of the stake, front part of the shelter. Okay. So this is what we have. We have those 2 corner. See, there's the Bushcraft Spain logo. That's right at one corner. This is the other corner. It does not have a logo on it. Those two are staked in together. Then we go around that corner and go to our first tie out around that corner. Put that there. And we pull that in a straight line across. And I haven't actually pounded these stakes all the way down yet because some adjustment may be needed. Okay, now readjusted, ready for the back. It's my bedroll. I believe got everything back where it needs to be now. So now we go one in from the corner. Had to move the corner. One in from the corner right here. Other one can go underneath. Pull that back to 90 degrees from the front point. Need to move my stakes because they're gonna get covered up. There's the other one. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna pull that 90 degrees while folding that under. Gonna have to move that again. And we pull that tight. And we go ahead and get that set. Like I said, we'll make sure we're squared up here once we get the finishing down. So once again, one in from the corner, tuck that under, pull that square as well, and we'll put another stake in over here in this corner. I think I need to go this way a little more. There we go. Oh man, that one's stuck. Frickin'. That was tight. There we go. Hold that tight. There we go. We still look like we're in line. We're going to attach our ridge line to our first point before we even tie out the back end of it. Seems to work out pretty well for me, but this is only like the fourth time I've done this because I just kind of, I'm not saying I made this up, I just kind of makeshifted this, like made it work with a square tarp. There we go. So we're going to bring this up to the peak, and we're going to go through just so that we're in a sense of not running it through here because it gives you a little bit more stability, except for when it ties its own knot. Then we just stick the prusik loop through. For stability, you can do a lark's head on there holding your toggle, but it's not necessary. So now we are going to slide that until it's tight. And that's the beginning of our shelter. So then I found that it's nice to just run it, the rest of your ridge line through these other tie outs. Gives you a little bit more structure. We can kind of let go. We're gonna pull tension on everything once we're done. Put that through there. I can't reach that high. It's a lot lower when you do this on a 8x8. So we'll improvise. Okay, had to make some adjustments. Learning on the fly here, but 10x10, I would have to do it a lot closer to this tree right here if I wanted to do it without this bipod. So I threw together a hasty bipod here, did a quick lashing with some jute twine left over from a class. That might have been left over It's almost 100% left over from my advanced class, because that's when we cut these poles. So it's kind of fun. Reuse that. It's like the worst. It's like a quick diagonal lash with a couple fraps just to keep it together. It's not doing a whole lot. It's just supporting this point here. Got the stake in there to keep it from pulling through. That gives some tension up on this peak. And now you get to see the, I don't know if you would call it modified George tent. The George tent that I saw a picture of was kind of a custom cut tarp, and it turned into a tent that looked very much like this. So realistically, just that flap that I tucked under this edge here is really all of the custom part of it. I also did this tie out here to give a little bit more room. That's not mentioned in there. This point is hung either from a tree or on an external tripod. I think there was, or you can do it with just a center pole. The benefit of this pole versus like a tarp tent pole is it's less in your way because it's only in the doorway. If you had a pole supporting this with two guy lines coming off the pole, but I think the bipod is the way to go, because then there is nothing impeding that doorway. It's very long with a 10x10. I've done it once with a 10x10, once with an 8x8. The Pathfinder, it's not technically 8x8, it's 7 foot 8 inches by 7 foot 8 inches. That's big enough for me, but it's not going to include that girl. Bella, come. This girl is going to camp with me, so she needs to have a spot in there. That's a good girl. What do you say? So that's gonna be our shelter for tonight. Come on, Bella. Good girl. Come. Gonna unroll my bedroll into here so you guys can see this opened up. There we go. We gotta pull this stake out. It doesn't have to be staked to the ground. You can actually just pin them together. Just hold the flaps back. And there we go. That's the inside. So you can see it's pretty roomy. I think it'll give you an idea of how roomy once I get my bedroll undone here. This is a Pathfinder bedroll with Badger Claw bedroll straps. And you can say what you will. It's good gear, and I like good gear that lasts. And so inside here is also the Pathfinder air mattress with the Pathfinder Forester's quilt. This is a hike light pillow. I love it because it's a dyneema stuff sack. Like, you can use it literally as just a water resistant dyneema stuff sack. The zipper is reversible, so you can literally keep like toiletries or whatever in there. It's just dyneema, but then you can also take and stuff it with like a hoodie, or I use my whoopee jacket a lot, and I'll stuff it, fill it up with a pillow, make a pillow, zip it up, and then it's not sleeping directly on dyneema, so it's kind of nice. And it's because this part is some kind of fleece and down inside, it's down filled. It completely compresses flat in my bedroll. I don't even notice it in there. I'll stuff it with my whoopee jacket later on tonight. So I'm gonna go in here. This mattress is already self-inflated. I'm just gonna scoot it back a little further. And then I always tuck the end of my bedroll under. I'm not gonna be sleeping under the bedroll sleeve tonight because I don't think it's gonna get that cold. It's been, the lowest it's gotten recently is in the 40s. So I've just been using my bedroll sleeve as a, Bella's in the picture. Hi, Bella. Hi, Bella. Come lay down. You like to lay on my Forester's quilt. There you go. You know good gear, don't you? She's a good girl. She's a good girl, Bella. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the valves on that self-inflating mattress. And I'll scoot it up that way just a little bit. And that's where bed will be tonight. Bella, I gotta go get your bed. All right, well, this is the inside of the shelter. Bella's already in there. Super roomy. Got my bedroll laid out. That's my whoopee jacket. I'm gonna show you how I stuff that in a hike light pillow. Yeah. This is the... Okay. That's creative. So I wanted to show you guys how I do with this hike light pillow, like whoopee jacket, anything like as the weather cools off, you're gonna have some kind of outerwear overnight by the campfire, or for first thing in the morning, you're gonna have something. And so, or you can just stuff an extra set of clothes in here. So I will just take from my bag my whoopee jacket, because that's usually my, I mean, all the way up through the winter, and I'll just double extra layers on that. Just stuff that in here. Stuff that in here. And I bought this, I saw Dave Canterbury use this in one of his gear videos, in his hammock. And this is a local maker on Etsy, I think in Kentucky, but made in the USA for sure, handmade. All kinds of great dyneema products in lots of cool colors. If you like colors, gray is a good color for me. But this is a really cool pillow, and it's an awesome concept. It's great for a bedroll. It does work well in a hammock. So I don't use this in my hammock, except for sometimes when it did get down pretty cold. It was about a month ago. It got real cold. I actually put this as a cover over my Silpoly pillow in my hammock to keep it so it wasn't cold on my bald head. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but I am completely bald on top of my head. The camera right now is hilarious because it's hanging upside down from the top of my shelter. All right, so that's Bella in my shelter for the night. It's just gonna be an overnight here, and probably have a little fire right about there. So Matt Mercer got me this quartzite and told me that it works for flint and steel also. So we're gonna give it a shot with good old silky gum boy. Ooh, there's some good, there we go. And we are caught. Quartzite on the silky gum boy. Ooh. Well, I did some cooking. I took a picture, probably put it in this video. But all I did was actually just add water to a Pathfinder Provisions meal. These are made by Schwartz Foods, and I love them. Cheeseburger macaroni. There's the rest of the package. I always cut the tops off, so it makes kind of like a little bowl. A little easier for me to eat with my fork, because I don't do those extra long titanium sporks or spoons, because I don't do sporks or spoons. Morning. Overnight in the modified George tent. I say modified, it's very little modification, more adaptation with a square tarp. Overnight went good. Bella's still asleep. I did have to put a smoke break up. My fire, when it was dying down, was just dumping smoke into the tent. So I put that smoke break up pretty early on in the night, before I ever went to sleep. And that was something Dave Canterbury taught me. If you put a higher object, which that's not actually taller, but it's kind of in the direction and closer to the fire than the tent is, and it actually draws the smoke up over that object and pulled it away from the tent and kept most of the smoke out. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, so I'm just letting my morning fire die down at this point, to where I can put it out easily, and then probably tear down camp and go hiking for a little bit or something.